What's going on, everybody? It's good to be back again here for another stream. We're going to be talking a lot about today's news because today's news hasn't just been unexpected in some aspects. Today's news has been pretty important. Okay. The news of Emmanuel Dennis potentially signing for the club, and then the news of Awar, there being a bid put in. And then Freuler, there's been a bit of a U-turn on that, or maybe there wasn't even a problem. Who knows? We're going to get down into the nitty and gritty of absolutely everything that has happened in the last 48 hours. As you know, I wasn't here yesterday because of work, but I am here. I'm not going to be here for the next tomorrow, but I'll be back Saturday night, pretty late on Saturday night. But I will be back. And it's good to see that the transfer world for Nottingham Forest in particular is starting to look a bit more positive, because it's just been negative for so long. But it's just good to see that behind the scenes, a lot of work is being done. Even though we hear about a good amount of it, I think there's even more going on behind the scenes that we don't know about and that we are yet to hear. And there's usually a bit of a delay on when it's reported and when it actually happens. So who knows? Everything could already be done with Dennis. We just don't know. Good to have you in, Jason. Pets, Plants and Fish Tanks. Good to have you. Pardon me. Oh, dear. There you go. Pardon me. One of them days today. Kel, good to have you. Ben, Mark, good to have you. I'll send you an invite a little bit later on. Just drop me a message on Twitter. NFFC Player Watch. Even I hope you're well. Kieran, good to have you. Greg, Tim, Gamer 316, good to have you. Lees Hill, I've sent you an email, my friend. I hope you're well. I appreciate your very kind offer. Dora on Tour. Here we go. Tell me about it. You're sounding like Fabrizio Romano. We've heard "here we go" so many times today, haven't we? Now, looking through my tweets, the latest tweets that I've got today, not really anything exclusive in that regard, but the Standard Sport have said that Watford are almost close to selling Dennis to Nottingham Forest for around 20 to 22 million. I've heard some reports saying that it's going to be 22 million. With I think it was Anderlecht or one of his older teams getting the rest of the money. I think it was 2 million that they would have got. So I don't know if it is Anderlecht. Don't quote me on that. I'm just having a quick look. But yeah, it's around 20 million, just over 20 million, I think. So we'll have to wait and see. No, I don't think it is Anderlecht. I don't know what team it was, but there was a team involved. But it's a good day to be a Forest fan. Woods, good to have you. Paul, Dominic, Zahia, Claire. I hope you're doing well, Claire. Be good to have you on the show soon. Nick, you need to come on the show as well. You've been a regular. And yeah, Club Bruges. That's it. Club Bruges. Correct. Boom. It is Club Bruges indeed. I should know that because I actually had it on one of my thumbnails. Silly old me, eh? Nick, yeah. Oh, God. Why? Yeah, there we go. We've been starved of signings. 10 days. Oh, 10 days, eh? 10 days. And you'd think we have to wait 6 or 7 months to hear from transfer news, eh? Jamie, good to have you back here. Briggsy, not heard your name for a while on these comments. Hope you're doing well, brother. Sahil, good to have you. And Kev, brilliant. Hope you're doing well, everybody. Well, listen, and Jonathan as well. Shout out to Sam Rycroft. You know how it goes. We do this every time. I hope you're well, Sam. Now, guys, let's talk a little bit about the big news of today. The big news of today. Dennis from Watford. It's a player that people have been talking about for a little while. And, rumours have been going around. Forest are interested. And, maybe someone that Forest could particularly enjoy in their team. I mean, last season, 33 matches and 10 goals in a really struggling Watford side. Not awful by any means. He's got pretty good stats. I mean, transfer market, you shouldn't really go off their valuations, but they've got pretty good stats for the player anyway. So it's good to see that Forest are interested in, I would say, a Prem-proven player. And people have been asking, are we going to sign more Prem-proven? Are we going to do that? Forest have given you, or supposedly are going to give you the answer to your question. Don't take it for granted. Enjoy it. 20 million, I think it's a good amount of money. There was a bit of a thing about a loan to option to buy, but I would assume either that isn't true or they've had it basically laughed at, which I would have if I was Watford as well. Who on earth's going to loan out their best striker and not get any monetary gains for that season? No one. Morning, Neil, all the way from Australia. Hope you're doing well. Glyn Smith. Now, this man here is my driving instructor. So everybody say a big hello to Glyn because he has been keeping the roads safe. He's been keeping these roads safe by having dual control on his car. So thank Glyn. I'm getting withdrawal symptoms of no signings. Tell me about it. And Paul, I know you're saying let's wait for the official announcements. And I know I completely understand that this is the case. I know that people, and I have just seen, a lot of people, saying to me that, oh, well, you need to wait a little bit longer. You're just saying rumours. I mean, it's not like one person has said Dennis is going to join Forest for 20 million. There is a good multitude of people saying this. So I just want to say, okay, I'll wait for an official announcement, but it is very, very likely. Things can change like we saw Alex Moreno. So don't expect this to be 100%. It's always 80, 90% with this. So, let's just sit back, enjoy ourselves, but I would say it's very, very likely. We'll talk about Morgan Gibbs-White as well, because I know if you look at the title, have we moved on from Morgan Gibbs-White? Have we given up on Morgan Gibbs-White even? Let's have a think, and we'll have a little chat about that as well. We're going to have some fans coming on, giving their opinions. There should be 4 or 5 of them coming on a little bit later. Dennis starts every game. He is indeed, and people wanted that, and now they've got it. So enjoy the occasion. Well, Nottinghamshire Live didn't actually originally report this. I just want to clear this up. And Russell, I don't disagree with the clickbait part. Unfortunately, that's what Reach PLC does. None of it's actually real news. Just saying. But Ndombele to Forest is not a strong interest, but apparently, according to Darbia Hatabi, who is a journalist for Foot Mercato, she says that Nottingham Forest, Everton, Real Betis, AC Milan, Leverkusen and Aston Villa are all interested in having him on loan, but have got far less chance because at the moment, Napoli and Villarreal are the leading candidates to sign him. So it's unlikely, but it's a real, it's a real interest. Well, also Darbia says that. As per my tweet, I'll stick my neck out right now and say, yeah, listen, I mean, Aouar and Dennis would be incredible. I mean, Aouar is someone that maybe perhaps got overhyped at the start, and there was all this talk about how much he was worth, and then all of a sudden the press just decided to dump him. Well, the case is now we've got there's a 15 million euro valuation there. We could have a top quality French midfielder on our hands that has got national team experience. He's got Champions League experience. He's experienced in places where it would be massively beneficial to us. Get him on a 3 or 4 year contract. You can't go wrong. So I would love to see Aouar in a Forest shirt. I've always loved playing with him on FIFA and Football Manager. So come on, Forest, make it happen. Make it happen. Jay Pratt, even Jay, a good day for transfer news and gossip, 100%. There's been, a few little things going around that necessarily aren't true, like with Baragi, which I wanted to just mention. I spoke to Jack Talbot not long ago. We're trying to arrange an interview, but yesterday he tweeted that the Baragi rumours were nonsense, and Fabrizio Romano later backed it up. So nothing on Baragi. Don't think we'd need him anyway. Freuler's coming in, as you say, 9 million euros from Atalanta over in Italy, and he's going to sign until 2025. So a 3-year deal. It's not bad. And for a player, as I say, with Premier League, sorry, not with Premier League, with Champions League experience, he's going to be a good signing for Nottingham Forest. So Remo Freuler, he's 30. Okay. He's got a valuation of about 18 million according to Transfer Market. So it's a bit of a steal. It's a bit of a steal for Nottingham Forest. But it's good to see that we're giving him that chance. He's got about just under 100 goal contributions in 473 games. So on average, a goal about 0.25 goal contributions per game-ish. So not bad. He has got 21 appearances in the Champions League. He's got 202 Serie A appearances, 17 Italian Cup appearances, 16 Swiss Cup, 14 Europa League as well. So he's an experienced player. And yes, he's 30, but there's no need to to put him off because I think he's going to do really, really well in a Forest shirt. That being said, nothing's been officially done yet. We've still got to wait on it. But as far as I would say, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So I'm going to look at some of your questions. I'm also just having a quick look at someone that someone's mentioned, Malinovsky, Ruslan Malinovsky, who is 29. So near on the same age as Freuler, plays in midfield alongside him. He's got 18 Champions League appearances. And in his, and actually Malinovsky is a bit more impressive in terms of stats. But Malinovsky, he has about 140-ish goal contributions in 340 games. So almost 0.5, I would say, well, around that, maybe a little bit less. So Malinovsky and Freuler would be incredible in the midfield if we can't get Aouar. But you've also got to remember there's a chemistry between Freuler and Malinovsky. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, and Ndombele unlikely, but to be fair to Nottinghamshire Live, there is a lot of rumours going around from good journalists. So, yeah, definitely. Malinovsky, as I say, yeah, good signing. I'd love to have him join the club. Andrew Sharp, good evening. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to have you. 100% top 6 player, but depending on interest from other Prem clubs, who knows? Who knows? Evening Essex Red, good to have you. Mark, you're absolutely right. Freuler is an absolute bargain. We've got to snap him up while we can for 9 million. He's going to bring a bucket load of experience. I apologise, it's my dog. Ooh. There we go. I'll shut the window. She invaded the other day. I don't know if any of you saw. She invaded the room. Shout out to Jonathan Pycroft there from Sam. What's the bid we have on Gakpo? So the latest on Gakpo, not really too much. I know that Man United are stepping up their pursuit for him. Apparently he's one of their priority kind of signings. But PSV have told United that it will not be sold before the 24th of August. So I'm not quite sure what the reasoning is for that. But for Manchester United, who really want to be kind of getting a team together that can gel, especially with a young player like Gakpo, they're going to need to do it soon. But the last that I heard was that Forest were the only club to have offered money for PSV Cody Gakpo, who's a winger. So it's interesting. It's interesting. I don't quite know how much I think PSV would want. Some people were saying 90 million euros. I just want to say that's not true. Oh, apologies. Little bit of a glitch there. Little bit of a glitch. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, as I was saying, Gakpo, he's a good player, but the 90 million euro valuation that people are saying that he has over him isn't actually true. I just want to point this out. That's not the case. I think PSV, according to reports, they value him at about 33 million. So, but Man United are looking the most likely to take him. But he's got experience in, just as Freuler does, but at a much younger age. So it'd be good to see. It'd be good to see Gakpo in a Forest shirt. Do I think it's likely? Not really. But 21 goals and 15 assists last year. He's an absolute beast. So 100% want him. 33 million. I think it's a decent price for a player like that. But that being said, do I think it's likely to happen? No. Just check PSV play for. So yeah, they play Rangers. I hope PSV win. Hello Jay, hope you're well. Might come on tonight. If I don't, I'll definitely come on next week. Yeah, 100%. If you want to come on tonight, we've got a few people coming on, so I'll let you know. Don't know if it's me, but Steve Cooper seems to start. What's going on with this? I don't really understand it. What's going on with this rumor? Because there's people that are saying he looks unhappy. Oh, are we back now? Sorry, there's a couple of Wi-Fi issues going on my side, so I do apologise for that. Apologies again. Yeah, there's a couple of Wi-Fi issues going on my side. It shouldn't affect us too much, but yeah, apologies. We're back in the room. I wouldn't say that Steve Cooper is upset or unhappy at Forest, but how would you look if we just joined the Premier League and you've got to think of all these new signings and, because... And this is what people say. They say, a manager, starts to be stressed when he has to spend money, because he's got, okay, you could say, oh, but he's got 150 million. How on earth he's stressed about that? It's like, well, 150 million, you can very easily, and pardon my French, you can easily piss it up the wall. You know, you can very easily waste that money. So he's got to think wisely about how he's spending that money. So, of course, maybe he would look unhappy at times, but how on earth can you relate that? I don't know how you can relate that to the club. For me, I think people are reading too deep into it. I don't think there's anything in that at all. But he's probably, and if anything, he's a stress. Why wouldn't you be stressed? You've moved into the Premier League. He's never managed in the Premier League. Okay, he's been at an academy. He's not managed in the Prem. You know, it's a daunting time for him and the club. But look at his Sky Sports interview. Do you think he looks unhappy there? I don't think that's true. I think we're reading too much into it there, to be honest. People, like and subscribe. It means a lot to me if you do. We are at 1.07k. If we can try and get to 1.08k by the end of the night, then that would be fantastic. All you have to do, click the little red subscribe button, and it goes a long way. It does go a very long way, because doing this, and if you keep subscribing, it will stay this frequent. I promise you. I promise you. Let's have a quick look at some of the comments. I'm glad the stream's okay for some of you. Sorry, there's a couple of internet issues, but I'm keeping it good as much as I can. Rico, good to have you. This is the Everton fan that is always talking about Forest. I love it. Tom Morris, good to have you as well in this evening. Coop contract, yeah, I think Coop contract probably announced in the next few weeks. People are reading into this too much. I just want to say this. I've spoken to Steve Cooper not even that long ago, very briefly. He's not unhappy from what I've seen of him. You can say that you've seen him on the sidelines, but if your team was down 2-0, are you going to be there smiling like this? No, well, of course you're not. You're going to be a bit upset. Because I was just behind the dugouts and I saw him talking to Alan Tate, and he looked annoyed at times, but you're 2-0 down, but he didn't look unhappy. He looked stressed in the moment, as every manager would be. If any of you, I don't know if any of you manage maybe a five-a-side team, or maybe you manage a younger team for kids, or whatever you do. If your team goes down, you're going to be frustrated. You love being at that club. Like my manager for my Saturday League team has been there, 10 years? He loves the club, but does he look stressed and unhappy at times? Well, yeah, because we might have been losing. Not this year, though, because we won the league. So, but seriously, though, don't read into it too deep. He's a happy man. He's going to get that contract signed very soon, and things are going to be okay. People need to calm down and just enjoy this. This experience we're having now, we've waited 23 years for. And I just want to say, in that time, my sister was born and had a child. I was born. My brother was born. And now I'm 3 years off being 20. Sorry to make some of you feel old there, but 23 years is a hell of a long time. We don't know how long we're going to have to wait to see something like this again if it didn't go to plan. So just enjoy this. But I do think it will go to plan. I think it will. I've predicted Forest to finish about 14th, 15th. That's what I've said from the first time I got asked this question, 14th, 15th. I've said that. Didn't say by the brim of the teeth. I didn't say nothing. I just said 14th, 15th. So keep the faith, people. Keep the faith. It's going to be good. Let's have a look. Anyone listen to the pod? I didn't. Russell, if I don't know if you got me on Twitter. It's at I'm Jamie Martin. Just send it me because I do want to hear this podcast that he did. And I'm trying, because it seems like Dane Murphy can do interviews like that, which I didn't know he could. I'm going to try and work on getting Dane Murphy on a podcast at some point. If any of you would like to see that, let me know. But I'm going to try and get the amazing Dane Murphy on the podcast if we can. Probably not live. And this is the thing I want to tell you. I've got a few things lined up very soon in terms of good interviews with legends and others. But that being said, they won't be live streams. Unfortunately, there will be podcasts. That'll be my main focus after the transfer window. Talking a little bit about how Forest played, obviously previews and post-match reviews, and then also podcasts with Forest players, ex-Forest players, legends, etc. So that's what we're going to try and do, but all in good time. All in good time. And yeah, look how Ten Hag looked. I mean, to be fair to Ten Hag, though, I think he's got a few more issues than Steve Cooper does. Could you imagine having the Glazers running the club? Don't fancy that. Interesting few days ahead with Freuler and Dennis potentially arriving. CM area now finished. Yeah, 100%. And Mark, I was watching the Garibaldi Red podcast, and I spoke to Matt Davis about it, and Darren Fletcher was spot on with this. Mangala, in that 10 minutes that he was on, he looked like he had something to offer, picking out the good passes. He was physical. He looked, you can't say he looked complete because he had been on for 10 minutes, right? You can say, though, he was doing what we expected him to do. And for 10, just to jump in the team and do it that quickly is really good. So for me, I think Mangala probably start at the weekend, which would be nice. And then probably O'Brien and Lingard. I don't think we'll see. I mean, you know, I wouldn't say don't put Freuler on if he signs tomorrow or whenever. But probably it will be a bit too quick for him. I don't know, though. But it'd be interesting to see what happens, 100%. But Freuler, as I say, you know, he's been playing a lot over the last couple of years, and he's been playing first team as well. So it's him fitting into the team fitness-wise wouldn't be a problem. And yeah, as you say, yeah, Fletch was spot on throughout the whole interview. I think he was honest. I think he was realistic, but I think he got it. I think he got it about right. It's not easy to talk and predict about Forest. You know, when you like them or you have some endearment to Forest, because there's people like on Talk Sport and Sky that, okay, they're not saying awful things about Forest by any means. Some people on Sky, but you know, and even on Talk Sport, there's people that aren't saying bad things, but they don't have that same level of love for the club as we do. But for Darren Fletcher to be on that platform and to talk about Forest and try not to let the kind of bias that you have overcome you, that's difficult. It's like when I talk about it on the radio, I've got to have no bias, but that's so hard, you know. But he was spot on. He was honest, and I really, really enjoyed listening to that. So if any of you haven't listened to it, I'd recommend going and having a little look. They're released, I think, most Mondays, to Garibaldi Red. So go and have a little look. Go and have a little look. It's a really, really good podcast for anybody that is particularly interested in Forest, as I hope that you all would be. Yeah, let's have a look at some of these comments. Forest Tales video on YouTube with Lord Ken Clark, Frank Clark. I've seen this. Yeah, I don't think this was very long ago, was it? I don't know if it was very long. I don't know, but let me know. Nick, I don't know if you got me on Twitter. Just send it me. When's Yates back? I honestly don't know. I mean, he was walking around at Newcastle and he didn't look awful. He wasn't like having a massive limp or anything like that. But I would say probably, I don't know. I don't even want to give you my thing because people will quote me for it. But it probably a few weeks. I can't imagine it'd be ridiculous. But obviously they jumped in a bit too quick with the Notts County game. And the way he was playing as well, he was bound to get a bit of a knock because he was giving it some. So, yeah. For anybody that's interested in the Dane Murphy podcast, it's called Men in Blazers. And it's called Pod Special with Nottingham Forest CEO. So if any of you want to listen, it's called Men in Blazers podcast. Good little podcast, apparently. Jay follows football. Hi, mate. Are we interested in Benrahma? I'm not 100% sure of how true that is. The last people to report on it were the Nottingham Post and Football Fancast. So I'm not really too convinced that we're going to snatch him. That being said, you know, we saw it with, you know, we've seen it with Emmanuel Dennis. We didn't think we'd get him. We didn't even think we'd put in the bid, but we did. So I won't rule it out because nothing's impossible. But at this point, I would say I don't think we will. I just don't think we will. Personally, I don't think we will. Right now, let's talk more on Gibbs-White then, specifically, because it's the uncomfortable thing people don't want to talk about. For the last 2 months, maybe even since the Sheffield game, I know that I've been fanboying over the idea since the Sheffield game. So how do we all feel about Morgan Gibbs-White? Are you in the camp of, I don't want him. I think we should move on to getting Aouar, Freuler, Dennis, getting all these different players in, you know, for potentially near on the same amount of money or just a little bit more? Or are you still in the Morgan Gibbs-White camp? Because for me, I'd still like to see him at Forest. I'd still like to see him. But the problem is there's a lot of rotation in that midfield coming in. It's like, it's going to be tough. And there's 5 subs per match as well. So it's a really, really tough one. But Morgan Gibbs-White, I don't know what to say. We're looking at very good transfer targets as it is at the moment, because he'd be good for Cooper. He works in that tactic. He would work well. But if they're looking at other people, I don't know. I just think 35 million. I mean, you could technically chuck an extra 2 million for Gakpo to maybe push it over the line a bit more. And he's a better player by stats. So, but it's all about how you turn up on the day, isn't it? So it's a really tough one. I'm just glad. I'm just glad that I'm not the one making any of these. But Malinovsky, I just want to say, I'd have him at Forest. He looks really, really good. And I'd like to say, I think I'm good at predicting good midfielders. I said Lewis O'Brien from the start, and I saw on the Garibaldi Red one as well, I think it was Michael Temple saying that he didn't think Lewis O'Brien played well against Newcastle. I don't think that's true. I think he had a bit of a shoddy first 10, 15 minutes because he just held the ball for too long, which I thought was an issue throughout the whole team. But other than that, I thought he won balls pretty well. And he added a bit of pace. If he just released a little bit quicker, I think he'd be really good. So I think he did okay. Let's have a look. I really want to sign him ever since seeing him. But this is it though, isn't it, Jonesy? It's like you saw him against Forest and you thought he tore up our team. What could he do to other teams, with the players that we have or the players we had at the time, so. But as G. Cully says, wait till January or the summer. I mean, in the summer, you could even say, let's wait till Christmas and see if we can get him on a free, because I think at that time he'll only have 6 months left on his contract, because at the moment he has 2 years. So, but yeah, maybe summer or December. But we've got to wait and see. It's going to be an interesting time for Forest. We're going to have Ez on in just a moment to talk a little bit about this situation. Mark Ashton, 25 million at max. I was the same, and then I don't know, mentally, I just think it just got pushed, and I was like, I want to do it and just get it out of the way. But yeah, Wolves thought they were playing hardball. Now, the problem is, I've seen that some Wolves fans, I don't know if they're just saying this out of spite, but they're saying that Morgan Gibbs-White, fairly average. But if he's fairly average, I don't think they understand the mistake they've just made. Because if I was Wolves, and you said to me, we're going to give you 42 million including add-ons for Morgan Gibbs-White with a 25 million set fee, I would bite your hand off for that. Seriously. If I was Bruno Lage in that room, I'd be thinking, well, this is amazing. We could sell him for what? 42 million. We've got Gonzalo Guedes coming in. We can get another player as well because they've got an insane scouting network. Why on earth wouldn't you sell him for nearly 40 million? It baffled me a little bit. To be completely honest, because I thought 40 million that'd just do it. But yeah, I think they've as Nick said, I think they've tried to play hardball, but I think it's really going to come back to bite them. And to be honest, I'm not too bothered about that, because if Gibbs-White ain't getting the game time he wants, he'll just leave on a free, and they've missed out on 40 million. So for me, it's either they sell him for 40 million now, or they sell him for, I don't know, 20 million in December or next summer, or 15 million, because he's not going to be worth as much, is he? So, but this is it. This is the reality of football. Unless Wolves decide to stop playing the hardball that they are and maybe kind of think about what they want in terms of money that will do, I think they're going to lose in the long run. Let's have a quick look. Wolves don't want to let him go, hence the inflated price. I mean, you say that, but there's probably better options for Wolves out there. I mean, there's people that think there's better options for Morgan Gibbs-White now for Forest. So for me, I'm sorry, my dog's barking. I just think for Wolves, 40 million, I'd take it. There's other people out there. I mean, they've got Gonzalo Guedes coming in. Him and Neves are going to tear up the midfield completely. So it's really tough. It's really, really tough. But listen, let's let the negotiators do what they do. Who knows? Maybe Forest is still interested. Maybe they're not. But we're reading quite deep into it, aren't we? And at the moment, not really a lot we can do. Now, I've got a bit of breaking transfer news for you, courtesy of Luke L here, who isn't wrong in the fact that he says Nottingham Forest are reportedly interested in Nantes star Moses Simon. I don't know much about Moses Simon, but his contract ends in 2 years. And Nottingham Forest are looking at exploring a potential deal for him. He's got 17 goals and 18 assists in 90 appearances. And he's mostly played on the left wing or a striker. So it doesn't look like an awful deal there. But Moses Simon, yes, very interesting. Darren Fletcher poured a tank full of full of cold water on Wolves and think, well, yeah, exactly. The price should be much lower. And in my view, I mean, Wolves should have took the offer because, in my opinion, I think the offer made was absolutely crazy. But that being said, they obviously want him. They obviously want him and think he's worth more than 40 million. I just think that could, in the end, horrendously backfire. And Wolves could miss out on a lot of money because 40 million can buy you 2 or 3 quality potential players. Wolves wanted a price with us, Everton. Well, they were thinking that Everton and Palace would outdo us, and they didn't like it. So, hi Jay, sorry I'm late. Sean, don't worry. Ez is going to be joining us in just a minute. I don't think they will. Well, not straight out 40 million. But as Big Mark says here, Cooper's number one target is Morgan Gibbs-White. So it's a loss if we don't get him in regards to what people are saying in terms of how Cooper thinks about it. But we'll have to wait and see. So Santa Ayuna has just said that we've agreed personal terms with Simon Moses. You see, this is how quickly transfers work now. Interesting. We'll have to wait and see. But coming on to give us his thoughts on what's going on in the transfer market is Ez Sense, the amazing, the one and only. How you doing, Ez? Good to have you on here tonight.
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. A bit tired, but yeah, I'm good. Glad to be on, mate. But I'm a bit unprepared, I'll be honest. I don't know if you saw my comment. I don't know what's going on today at all, so you're going to have to fill me in, mate. I'm sorry. I'm a worst guest you could have called on tonight, mate.
Well, I mean, we're going to have 10-minute segments, and we're going to have Matt on tonight. We're going to have Mark on tonight. We're going to have loads of good guests. But as for the next 5 or so minutes, I want to just kind of speak to you about who you want in transfers. And I mean, there's going to be people that hound me for this because, oh, well, you're not Forest, you're not Dave Murphy, you don't have that. This is our opinion, right? Ez, tell me, who is your transfer target, your main priority? Let's say you're Steve Cooper. Who is your number one? Because I know that you really like Morgan Gibbs-White and you'd be prepared to pay a pretty penny for his services at Forest.
Yeah. So he would be top of my list. That might be an unpopular opinion, but he'd be my number one. I think he's good enough to make an impact, but will keep us up, basically. That's the reason why we're buying him. He will keep us up. I think he's good enough. And if he keeps us up, then he's worth every single penny. If, on the other hand, it doesn't happen, then, we've made the wrong decision from day one. But I don't think Cooper and Dane Murphy have gone into this without careful thought, planning, and preparation. Wolves are trying to move the goalposts on us. And I think I caught you saying that, and I agree with you, it's going to be to their detriment because the player will eventually put in a transfer request. We might not get him this window. It might have to go to the January window, but then we'll get him at a cheaper price. So the longer they delay it past this window, the lower his price gets because obviously his contract's. He's not going to sign a new contract. That's clear, isn't it? So it's a waiting game for them. But he'd be top. He'd be my top priority. But I'd also really, really like Dennis and Uwarin. I'd love them to win. So we could accommodate all those players. I don't know. But you can't have too much quality in that squad. It's something that we're, go on. Sorry.
I do want to ask you, because on that point, you mentioned we can't have too many quality players, and you're right, because rotation is difficult. I mean, I know you got 5 subs, but, quality players don't want to be on the subs bench. You're not going to have someone like Owar come in and just sit on the bench. That's not what he's doing, because he could go and get first-team football at different Prem teams or at Lyon. But I want to ask you about the striker situation in particular. Now, Simon Moses being linked with Forest, looking like it could happen. And he's, fairly acclaimed, 17 goals and 18 assists in 90 appearances. So not bad by any means. But Keenan Davis is lined up for a move to Watford. So there's no chance of him coming back. And in my view, I didn't think that Keenan Davis was actually the man that we needed up front. That's just my view, because I think Taiwo Awoniyi, apologies if I've just glitched out there. Taiwo Awoniyi, I think he's a really good player. And I think he's got a lot to prove still. So I don't think we should just, ignore the fact that he's there. He's got a good physical presence. But I want to know your thoughts on the striker situation. Do you think that Dennis is going to solve this issue for us, or how do you feel?
if we're looking at what we were missing from in the Newcastle game on the weekend, we were missing somebody to hold it up. And even if it's not Keenan Davis, a Keenan Davis type player is what we need to add to the squad. Taiwo Awoniyi will come good. I have faith that he will come good, but he is not that kind of player, and I don't think he can bring that into his game. The few touches he had on Saturday, the ball just bounced off him. You know, it wasn't sticking to him. There was one occasion where he lost control of it, and Bruno tipped it over him. You know, he's not that kind of player. He is a good player, and when we get the system like we saw in the Valencia game, but the two occasions they played to him to his strengths, he produced results. You know, so if we can, but that wasn't the type of game on Saturday. It was a learning curve, but we needed a striker or centre forward who could hold up the ball and bring the others into play, because that's what wasn't there on Saturday. But if we can't get Keenan Davis, but a Keenan Davis type player in strikers is what I'd be looking for, to be honest. And that's not Dennis either, you know. So I don't know who we're being linked with today. So the striker that you've just mentioned, what type of? I don't know enough about him to comment on him. You said,
my knowledge isn't massive, and I'm going off stats I've got with at the moment, and he looks like he plays on the left wing, but he's featured a lot as a second striker as well. So Leeds wanted him in January. They didn't pursue him in the end, but now he's obviously still at Nantes, but Forest now want him. So it's interesting. I'm whatever Cooper and Murphy and all the scouts think that they need at the club. They need at the club. They know a lot more about football analysis than I do. But as the final question I want to ask you, just before we have Mark coming on first. Matt, we'll have you on just after Mark. What are your thoughts going into Sunday with West Ham? It's a big game. West Ham potentially demotivated from that game against Man City, but I mean, Man City are a good team. They're going to be hungry to win as well, because we know there's a bit of a grudge between West Ham and Forest. So, how are you feeling going into that?
Well, for other reasons, I'm really excited. It'll be my first home game in nearly 3 years. You know, I can't wait, and I'm so lucky, and I'm so lucky to get the opportunity to go. And so, thank you for the personal people who've helped me get there. So excited from that point of view. I'm not really looking forward to the game, actually, because I think the atmosphere will play a massive part. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be similar to the second leg against Sheffield United, where even if things don't go our way, the fans aren't going to stop singing. You know, that is going to be an atmosphere for West Ham to have to deal with that. And to give us the opportunity to kind of make our mark. I think we'll get something out of that game. And if I'm going to go for a prediction, if you don't mind me giving you one, I would honestly be happy with a 0-0 draw. First point on the season, first clean sheet. I'd be happy with that. I'd happy.
I want to see a goal though, Ez. Can you
go
1-1?
But what we do need to do is get some confidence back in those defenders, because they will run ragged on Saturday. Get some confidence back into the defensive setup, and we'll go from there. But yeah, just anything out of that game, I'd be happy with, to be honest. But yeah, I was going to say 0-0. Be more than happy with that.
Well, listen, Ez, I'm hoping that we do. I mean, in my opinion, I'm hoping we get a goal, to be honest, because I do want to just see the stadium go absolutely wild. That being said, though, it always scares me if you're 1-0 up or you're 1-0 down, that, you know, if you're 2-0, it's all right, or you're 4-1 against Leicester, it's all right. But listen, it's been good to have you on. I know before you go, I want to just ask you, well, I don't know if you're allowed to reveal this. You've got a stream going on tomorrow night. What time are you streaming?
So we're streaming at 8 o'clock, 8 till 9, hopefully, on the Forest Fans Hub channel. So please, guys, if you haven't checked it out, please check us out. And we've got a special guest coming. So we're going to put him in the thumbnail soon anyway, but it's a special guest and you'll see who it is. And hopefully you can all tune in and support us. And Jay knows I'm always here to support him as well. So we always talk about we'll talk about football every day, whether we're on a stream or not, don't we, mate? So it's just different having a camera to talk to, and sometimes we forget about we're on camera and we just carry on talking like best mates that we are, hopefully. But I'm hoping to catch up with you on Sunday at the game and meeting a few other guys as well. First time, hopefully. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a great atmosphere without a doubt, and I'm just buzzing for it. And I'm so grateful. The person who's helped me out knows who they are. We decided not to shout it out, but yeah, thank you so much. You know, it means so much to me. And yeah, hope everybody who can go and who can't go, you know, enjoys the occasion, because like I said, it's always about whether you're there or not. We're all Forest fans, you know, and the majority of us aren't going to get to games this season, so it doesn't make us any less passionate about our club. So yeah, come on, you Reds, and let's get something out of Sunday's game. But let's make enough noise that, you know, they'll know what's hit them. The Premier League will know that we're here.
Well, listen, as I really appreciate you joining us, and give me a call on Sunday. I'll be there about 3.5 hours early, so let me know. I'll be there. I'll be there 11:30, maybe 10-ish. So just let me know. But good to have you joining me. Mark will be joining in just a moment. I've sent him an invite link, so I appreciate you joining, and take care. See you Sunday, my friend.
Yeah, thank you so much. Cheers, mate. Thank you. See you soon.
As everyone, absolutely amazing. As supporter of the channel for so long, he doesn't know how much I appreciate him. Honestly, it's amazing what he has done for this channel. So, and he's made a lot of things possible that you guys have viewed. So, you know, subscribe to us and give him some love. Give him some love, guys. If you want to come and see me on Sunday, I think I'll be in the car park for a little bit doing some interviews. So if you are interested, just follow me on Twitter at I'm Jamie Martin and just ask, and I'll give you my number. And we'll have a quick chat in the car park, and we'll talk a little bit about what Forest are like, the new transfers that we will have had by then. This is on Sunday. And we'll also talk about the game, because I'm going to be collecting interviews for NHR. So if anybody does want to know and do an interview, let me know. I'm going 1-1 on Sunday, but we'll have to wait and see. This is how I work. 3 leagues in Premier, top 6, middle 6, bottom 7. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, look, we just need to get points all around the board, don't we? I mean, you know, if you can win against the bottom 6 or 7 teams, then brilliant, you know. And if you can get a point against, you know, the top teams, then even better, you know. But listen, we're going to have a wonderful Forest fan coming on, and he's got his brand new 3rd kit on. Would you believe it? He's flexing on me. I've got no money for this anymore. But just before Mark joins, Mark, I'm sorry, holding your seat there. And look, I can see him in the lobby. He's so excited. He's trying to break through the screen. I know. But I've got to give a massive shout out to Herring Shoes. Been speaking to them all day. Really, really great guys. Chris, absolute legend, and recommend them for any shoes that you need. Very, very smart. But coming on now, the amazing Mark Dennis. He's been a feature in the comments chat for as long as I can remember. Mark, how are you feeling? Good to have you on.
I'm not bad, mate. A bit nervous as usual, but how are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. Well, it's natural to be nervous. I mean, 23 years out of the Prem, and Sunday is the very first home game to, you know, in our Premier League campaign. Not the first game, but the first home game. How are you feeling ahead of that?
Actually, a little bit confident, to be honest with you. Now we sort of know what the Premier League's about. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we'll give a better showing. I'm not saying that we're going to win the game. It might be a draw, you know, but I think we'll improve. We'll see some improvement, I think.
Well, and you think maybe Newcastle has taught us a big lesson, because I think people were quick to jump on Forest players. And I just want to say I've seen a lot of abuse pointed towards Brennan Johnson, Surridge, and others today. And I just want to say it's completely, I think it's ridiculous personally. How can you expect them to perform without any delivery? I don't really know, to be honest. And the long balls from the defence how on earth do you expect Brennan Johnson to beat Dan Burn? I don't really know. No. But off that kind of topic though, West Ham, they lost against Man City. You know, they're not a bad side though. You know, they've got the likes of Jared Bowen and others. It's not going to be an easy game, but you say you're feeling a little bit more confident, and Newcastle has obviously taught Forest a little bit of a lesson. So tell me who you think is going to stand out in that game, maybe even a score prediction as well.
I don't know, you know, if Mangala plays, I reckon he'll stand out. I don't really like doing score predictions because I'm always wrong. But I'm going to go for a 1-1. I think I'll just go for a 1-1, keep it conservative.
I like that. No. I agree. I think it's going to be 1-1 because I don't think it's going to be like some mad scoring game like the last time. And for anybody that doesn't remember the last time we played Newcastle, West Ham, I think it was 2014, and it was in FA Cup, 5-0. That ring a bell?
Yeah.
I remember being a kid. I remember at the time I was 9 years old. I remember sitting there on the TV like, Mum, am I supporting the right team? I thought why the red one's winning? Do you know what I mean? It's like for all that time I've been thinking Forest just never win. But 5-0 at that time. And yeah, Jamel Abdoun. I think even I remember Jamel Abdoun. And my memory from being a youngun's not that much, but Abdoun. Yeah, what a player, eh? What a player. That was a weird time, wasn't it, for Forest? But listen, the last time we played him, 5-0. Bit of a grudge match, would you say? Because obviously the whole Lingard situation has been a bit of a friction between the fan bases.
Yeah, I think just because of the Lingard thing. And then obviously, I mean, we was interested in Maxwell Cornet, but obviously we weren't that interested. Well, I think did he turn us down, or I can't remember. I don't know whether he did or not.
I think from what I know, I mean, let's be honest, if Forest have put in a bid and he's gone to West Ham, which I think most players would if they've got the offer, right? Let's be honest. I don't want to say that because I like, I like Forest, but West Ham been in the Prem a lot longer, more established, you could say.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But yeah, he turned down the offer from Forest to go to West Ham. But is he someone that you're going to be worrying about on Sunday? Should he play?
I don't think he'll play, to be honest. I think he's more of a squad player. I don't think he's going to start because I don't know what his best position is. I mean, I've seen him play left wing back. I've seen him play left wing. I've seen him play up front. I mean, he's got a lot of pace, but I don't really know what his best position is. I mean, left wing back or left back they normally play Cresswell there, don't they? He's normally a first teamer.
Yeah.
Good player. Left wing, they don't normally play a left winger. It's normally a right-footed left-sided player because they have the inverted forwards or whatever you want to call them. So I don't know. I don't know where they're going to play him if he does start.
I do want to ask you though, because Steve Cooper said, and we've got AFC beef. Listen, if you can get in contact with me, Bournemouth Fan TV, and this isn't a joke. I know that you're saying this, whatever, but get in contact with me because I do want to make a little video. I've been meaning to contact you, perhaps before the Bournemouth Forest game. So let me know. I won't be here. I'll be on holiday. So, but it'd be good to talk to you before then. But West Ham, as I was saying, Steve Cooper in a Sky Sports interview said, "I'm not scared of the Premier League. The team aren't scared of the Premier League. The owners aren't scared of the Premier League." But I want to ask you, are you scared of the Premier? Are you a little bit scared or are you just nervous?
No, I'm not scared. I feel like you just got to embrace it. Enjoy the ride. We're not going to win every week. You know what I mean? We might lose 3 or 4, then win 1, win 2, then lose another 3 or whatever. Do you know what I mean? We're not going to win every week. So just enjoy it while we're in there and hopefully we stay up. I do believe we will stay up. So just enjoy it.
It's not going to be easy, is it? It's not going to be. And,
No.
There's some people I would say are a little bit naive towards it, but it's not going to be as simple as people make out. But that being said, it's not impossible. Even Huddersfield did it, a few years ago. Bournemouth did it. I mean, Bournemouth Fan TV, you guys did it for a long time. Burnley, they did it. Even West Ham had a stint in the Championship and came back up. Look at Newcastle. They had a stint in the Championship. Things were looking dark at St. James's Park. Things were looking bleak. But the fan base came together and got behind their club, and obviously they got Saudi Arabian owners as well. But other than that,
that helps.
Things started to improve. It does help, doesn't it? A £300 billion valuation, but it does help. It does help, And everybody listening, you're the 12th man, and if you're going on Sunday, and even if you're not, when you're at home, Twitter, whatever, keep supporting Forest. Don't put players down. Because all I'm seeing is abuse. But I just want to mention before we go, Forest Review have put on Twitter. Now, Forest Review, it's a fairly well-known news site for Forest. They have said that Forest will play Al Hilal, which I believe is a Saudi Arabian side, tomorrow behind closed doors at St. George's Park. So it's a friendly before that West Ham game. What are your thoughts on that? Because that sounds like a very Cooper thing to do.
Well, that's the first I've heard of it.
Do you think it's necessary?
It's
the first I've heard of it. Yeah, this is literally just been mentioned now.
I'd say first I've heard of it, but necessary. I don't know. I think it might just be a bit of a sort of a squad building, team building thing for, like fringe players maybe. Just get them under 23s and a few of the fringe players in there just to try and gel them up a little bit. But yeah, that's the first I've heard of it, mate. I had no clue.
Well, listen, we'll see what happens with that. I'll keep everybody updated. But just before you go, Mark, I kind of want to know your thoughts on the striker situation, and then we'll have Matt Rakowski joining us just after. Now, Forest Amp mentions and makes a good point of Moses Simon being quite pacey, as I've heard now, and as Ant has just kind of mentioned. But what are your thoughts on this? Because it's okay having a pacey striker, but it's a bit useless if you don't have a good midfield, isn't it? So it's good to see that Forest are investing in the likes of Freuler, potentially Mihajlovski, or I think that was his name anyway, and others as well. What are your thoughts on that? Because I thought the midfield just got completely overrun at Newcastle. I think if we had a bit of a more accomplished midfield, I think we would have been okay, maybe getting a draw.
Yeah, I mean, like I said the other night when I was talking to Des, I just feel that the midfield was too far back. I mean, I didn't go to the game and I didn't watch the full game. I seen highlights, but from the highlights that I seen, Bruno Guimaraes literally had all the space in the world to do whatever pass he wanted to do. So I do think the two midfielders who were sitting more, Colback and what's his name? Forgot it already. O'Brien. I think they were just sat too far back. Nobody was going out, closing it down or anything like that. It looked like our 5 defenders was marking like 2 strikers or 1 striker, and then obviously your wingers or whatever. But yeah, they was just giving them too much space. So yeah, I think we just need to push up the pitch a little bit more. Try and get engaging. Most games, in my opinion, are won if you win that midfield battle. So I 100%. Do think we just need to get a foot in. Just stick a foot in. I've said all along that we need a proper ball-winning midfielder, a big guy, somebody that can just stick a foot in every time.
But look at Newcastle as well. Like Bruno Guimaraes, he's and I think Brazilian footballers overall, just a fantastic technique. They've got a good vision. It's just natural. And then you've got the likes of Joe Linton, who was just playing a little bit more forward, and he was just pacey. He was. Pace. He had a decent amount of pace, more strength that he had, I would say. And he also had a good vision, and then Almiron and Willock, they had a really, really accomplished side. So hard to beat. But Mark, thank you for joining and talking about Forest. Just drop me a message in my inbox in Twitter. We'll have you on again, hopefully in the next stream if you're up for that. But everybody, Mark, thank you very much for joining. Take care, my friend, and hopefully see you very soon.
Cheers, mate.
Take care now. That was a Mark Dennis there, everybody. The amazing Mark Dennis. Wonderful to have him joining us now for another 10 minutes. And just before we head into the Q&A part of the stream, we're going to be having Matt Rakowski on, who is also a fellow Nottingham Forest fan, who's going to be talking to us about his thoughts on the latest transfer news. Now, as I say, lots of players rumoured. Nottingham Forest in particular. I think at the moment, the only team that has made an offer for Gakpo. Morgan Gibbs-White, it's looking like a stalemate has gone on there. Emmanuel Dennis, £20 million bid put in. Just waiting for any more further confirmation on whether he's joining in it. I would say it is highly likely. And of course, Freuler. He's looking to join. Yiz Hornkamp, who I know everybody was really interested in joining, unfortunately won't be coming to the club, as Daniel Taylor says. Kouyaté rumours have seemed to have dried up, and Ouar, I don't know. The Ouar one is not dead in the dirt, but we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting. In my opinion, I think we should play... Oh, sorry, bit of a glitch on my stream. I think we should play 3 centre mids against West Ham. It's going to be hard to beat their midfield. 100%. Rice, Soucek, I had them on Football Manager and they were decent. until I sold them for loads of money. But yeah, Rice and Souček, Rice is, people say he's one of the best prospects in English football, and he's going to be one of the best. So it'll be interesting to see, but it's going to be tough. They need to be ready to win that battle in midfield. Now, joining me very quickly now for the next 5 or so minutes is Matt. Now, Matt, it's good to see you rocking the away kit. How are you feeling?
Hot tonight, Jamie. It's absolutely boiling here, isn't it? I've got the shirt. I'm trying not to touch anything so I don't get any snags or pulls and have to go back to the club shop to get it changed. But it's a really nice shirt, and that third strip that Mark was just wearing looks absolutely gorgeous. It
does. It looks better in person as well. I think that's the case for all Forest kits. I think they all look better in person.
Yeah, I saw it at the shop when I bought this the other week, and it was really nice. And I've seen today a few people on Twitter have said it's a different kind of material as well. So hopefully it won't go the same way that some of the other shirts have gone.
I hope not. I mean, the material. I will just say this, and this isn't Forest's fault really. I'd say it's a Macron issue, but the material on the shirts feels really good. It feels really good, but the problem is it's really crap. Like I've already had a shirt that has had to be replaced by another shirt, and I got sent another one, and that one's got snags in it as well. So it's not easy with these shirts. It's not
as well, isn't it? I think it's Macron, but also there's a lot of other suppliers that haven't even been able to deliver shirts. I just hope that when they get the next batch in, I think in the club shop they said it's going to be September. Fingers crossed, it can be a slightly higher quality material, because it's an expensive shirt to keep having to go back to take it back.
Of course, but people that's already spent 60 quid, it's a bit of a loss. But pets, plants, fish tanks, what's with the money? There was a few mention of finances on a couple of my YouTube posts. I'm a bit confused by the comments, but yeah. The third kit, same materials, last year's kits, interesting. I think probably better quality. I don't remember hearing many complaints about those beautiful kits. But listen, let's talk about what's going on at Forest more in particular. Someone called Lynn Lolly has just liked my post on Twitter. I think that was that fake account for Joe Lolly's mom. Anyway, tell me how you're feeling ahead of that West Ham game.
I'm feeling all right, I'm feeling quite confident. I think looking back to Newcastle, my primary wish, if you like, for Newcastle was that we didn't get an absolute kicking, because it's our first game back in the Premier League. And St James's Park is always a really difficult place to go to. The fans are up at the top, out of the way. It's a tremendous atmosphere in the stadium. And I felt that if we'd come away from there getting thrashed 4-5-0 or something, that would have really damaged the morale. I think that it was a respectable 2-0 loss. We held our own for the first half. I think there's a lot of positives to take out of that game. There's a lot of lessons that need to be learned and need to be learned quickly. But as I think it was Darren Fletcher said in one of the interviews that he did, the game at the City Ground on Sunday is a completely different game to Saturday. It's it's in our stadium. It's on our turf. The lads will hopefully have learnt a few lessons. I think one of them really was the pace at which the game played. A couple of the players seemed to struggle to keep up with the quick pace. So I think it's going to be good, and the atmosphere is just going to be incredible, isn't it? And that's what we need to bring every single game this season at the City Ground. It needs to be an absolute cauldron, like it was for the second leg of the playoff final, semi-final, and also the game against Liverpool. Non-stop noise and encouragement for the players. And I think that we'll see that will have a really positive effect.
Well, 100, and I 100%. I mean, you look at Newcastle; they had the home advantage, and let's be honest, St James's Park is the ultimate home advantage. I mean, it's a beautiful stadium. I don't think they were the best, throughout the game in terms of the atmosphere. I think it was good at the start when they scored a goal and at the end, but equally, it's a beautiful stadium. I mean, even people talking, it's louder than derbies. So, it's just great to have gone to a stadium like that. But obviously on the pitch, big learning curve for the lads, and a big experience, because Newcastle, again, they're a Prem side. They're an established Prem side. Apologies if I've just glitched out then. Eddie Howe's a good manager. They've got a lot of quality on and off the pitch. So to be beaten by a team like Newcastle and not to have gone down, as you say, by like 4 or 5-0, something ridiculous, I'm not unhappy, because as Darren Fletcher said as well, there was positives to take away from that game, and there's things they're going to learn from and ultimately benefit from going into the West Ham game. But I do want to know what kind of West Ham players in particular that you're keeping your eyes on in terms of players that perhaps Forest need to watch out for. Because for me, it'd be the likes of Jared Bowen, Souček, and others as well. But how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I think the same. I think Declan Rice, Jared Bowen, Souček. It'd be interesting to see if Cornet plays on Sunday. But I think that there's no real. I'm not looking at it in terms of isolating particular players. I'm looking at it in terms of, Forest need to have a well-drilled, well-organised side that know what they're doing, and then it almost doesn't matter who the opposition, who those particular players are. And I felt that we learnt that from last weekend, that we need to be more cohesive like that, and that there will need to. I think that the system will probably be the same that Cooper plays. I think he'll probably start Iwanyi up front rather than Surridge, and maybe bring Surridge on a little bit later on. Hopefully Mangala starts. I think we just need to be able to deal with the pressure and the speed better than we did on Saturday. And like I've said before, I think that the home advantage will play out on that. Now, I also think that there is a bit of it has become a bit of a grudge match since the Jesse Lingard debacle, etc. So I think he probably more than anybody else on our team should be more fired up than anyone. Well, everybody will be fired up because it's the first Premier League game at City Ground for 23 years. But he seems to be the kind of person that has that mentality that the criticism he takes, it doesn't get him down. I think it should fire him up. And hopefully we'll see that. I didn't really answer your question about West Ham players, I guess, but that's not.
But that's okay. Yeah, and I think you are right. I think you are right because it's a very narrow-minded question. I understand that. I've got no news on Paul McCartney singing, unfortunately. Although
what about Cooper? Cooper plays the guitar, doesn't he? That'd be nice to have McCartney and Cooper do it.
That video is absolute gold. That video. When I saw that, I thought, who on earth is this good at Photoshop? And then it was like, wow. Do you think the team have got the nerves out of the way now? I mean, no, I don't think they'll get the nerves out of the way for the next 37 games. Some of those lads have been at Forest since they were 8 years old. You look at Joe Worrell, there's a picture of him sitting with Brian Clough. This club means everything to him. So, no, I don't think the nerves will ever go away, but the confidence that they exhume and the lessons that they learn will help them to overcome those nerves. Because I go into every game feeling a bit nervous, but, you get used to it and you play on with it. I mean, obviously, Division 3 and the Saturday League and Premier League are a little bit different, only a little bit. And my valuation is probably about 7 million. So, but yeah, 7, I'll take it. But on a serious note, though, I think, it's not going to be easy, but they're going to be nervous, but they're going to overcome it. Give us a dozen games to settle. I think even less than that. I think we'll be okay. Nick Anfield Sky been setting up for Sunday. I mean, I'll be there at about 10 a.m. on Sunday. So if I can get any photos of what's going on and potentially meet a couple of nice people, then I'll make sure that I share some little things with you if I can and don't get in trouble again. But listen, Matt, the last question I do want to ask you is, what players are you most looking forward to seeing on Sunday? And I know that you're probably going to say there's not a specific one. But Mangala, of course, making his first appearance. How are you feeling ahead of that?
Yeah, excited to see Mangala. Definitely excited to see Lingard play and hopefully live up to the hype. And the Forest lads as well in terms of Brennan and Joe Worrell, Dean Henderson. Looking forward to. So to be fair, I'm literally looking forward to seeing pretty much all of them. And I think more than anything else, I'm looking forward to being in the stadium with the fans again. And my daughter, obviously, she came in last time. She's not here today. But I explained to her that when we go to watch a football match, we're not just spectators, we're participants. Because it's the crowd that's in the stadium that helps the team that's on the pitch. And we have so much of a part to play. And I'm really excited to be back playing that part again on Sunday, as I will hopefully be for, as many games as my silver membership allows me to get to.
Well, from what I heard,
it'd be brilliant, isn't it?
I agree. And I heard rumours, though, Matt, that you were coming on to potentially play left back. I don't know how true that is, but this is just what I'm hearing. This is just what I'm hearing. I mean, can you
we're still trying to find a replacement for Bong? That could have been a credible gag. But just one last sort of thing, really. And coming back again to what Darren Fletcher absolutely hit the nail on the head. The success of our season, whether it's survival or it's interesting that you said 14th to 15th, because my prediction is 14th to 16th, which is quite a narrow sort of window for where we'll finish. But I do think that is where we'll be. But our success for this season relies on the City ground. We have to pick up as many points as we possibly can at the City ground, make us hard to beat. It needs to be a cauldron every single game, and then we pick up on the road what we pick up on the road. But if we lose every game on the road and win 75% of games at the City ground, we're staying up. And we're going to win. Yeah. We're going to pick up more. We're going to pick up more points on the road. So, absolutely, fingers crossed. It's going to be a good one.
Well, listen, Matt. Thank you for joining. Enjoy the ride. It's a good time to be a Forest fan, and most importantly for us as well, it's very, very good to have you on the stream. Listen, message me. We'll get you on the next one as well. It's good to hear your opinion and perhaps get you on the panel for the next one if you're interested. So drop me a message. But thank you very much for joining, and we're heading into our Q&A. So that was Matt, everybody. Matt, thank you very much.
Thank you, mate. Take care.
Take care, and you, sir. So that was the amazing Matt Rakowski there, absolute legend, and he loves Forest, and he loves talking about Forest, as we have had the ability to do so tonight. I have a feeling that Lingard's going to bang one in. I do hope so. I'm hoping that he's maybe recovered a bit of fitness, because I don't think he was 100%, but yeah, he's doing his thing, and people that were attacking him, I've seen the video. Get over yourselves. Get over yourselves. He's playing football with his kid. You know, it's a joke. Come on, it's a joke. Lighten up, people. What's your starting lineup for Sunday, Jay? Good question, Malk. In goal, Dean Henderson. Shock horror, I know. In the middle, centre back, Niakate. To his right, McKenna. Worrell. To his left, McKenna. The left wing back is going to have to, of course, be Toffolo. To the right, Nico Williams. In the middle, Mangala and Colback, Mangala and O'Brien, with Lingard just in front, and then Awoniyi and Brennan Johnson as the two up front. So that's what I think will start. Is it what I want to start? Mostly yes, but it's what we're going to have to do. So, but yeah, listen, I think Awoniyi will do it. I think he's got a good physical presence that will wear out West Ham's defence, and I think, you know, give him time. I think he could really, really be the player that Forest need. I think people are chucking him out because of whatever's happened over the pre-season or whatever's happened, you know, at whatever game. You know, I thought he was quite good when he came on at Newcastle. You can see that he's gaining confidence. So it's good to see. It's good to see. Good night, Tim. I hope you're doing well. I'm glad to see that you're okay. I know you had a bit of a scare the other night, but Tim, I hope you're doing good. The training video today, yeah, if I could show you, I would. It's absolutely fantastic. It's showing all the coaches, Andy Reid, Steve Cooper and everybody there, players walking in, and they look really efficient. They look really, really efficient. They all look fairly fit. I mean, I know it's a training video, but they looked really good when they were doing the passes, and they were joking around and enjoying themselves. So it's good to see them taking it serious and enjoying themselves. So interesting. Yeah, I know Rashford to PSG. They need to get that out of the news. It's boring. Mark R. Abry, good to have you. Carney from Fulham. Yeah, not a bad shout. That not a bad shout. Evening only just joined the stream. Thoughts on Malinovsky? I mean, Declan, just go back half an hour and listen. I think Malinovsky's absolutely phenomenal. I'd like him in a Forest team, and he's got almost a goal contribution every 0.3 or 4 goal contributions per game. So good player. And for however much we buy him for, 10 million or whatever they want, do it, I say. If we don't get OR in. If we win 15-20 at home, that's 40 points on it. So, I mean, you're not going to win 20. I mean, I think there's just under 20 into it, I think. 19 home games, 19, I think. Just under 20. So, be interesting. Who's your favourite Forest player of all time? Oh, Jonathan, that is a really good question. We are in the Q&A, so it doesn't have to be about West Ham, but ask any question that you like and I'll answer it. I've got my lovely anniversary shirt on. My favourite Forest player of all time. I don't know whether it's me on a personal level of how much I like them as a person or how much I like them as a player. It's really, really tough. Really, as a kid, I used to love Lewis McGugan. He was my number one. And you've got to remember, I don't know Collymore. I don't know the 90s. I don't know the European days. So we're going 2010 upwards, probably. I'd loved Lewis McGugan. Chris Cohen, he's a servant as well. Michael Dawson, good player. Oh, it's really not easy. It's really not easy. I think Andy Reid. I'm going to say Andy Reid because as much as I love all these players, Andy Reid was another one that I loved watching as a kid. I know that he had stint at Spurs or whatever, but I'd say Andy Reid. He's my generation. I've met him a couple of times as well. He's a legend. But yeah, Andy Reid. If we can win 9 games at home, draw 3 at home with 3 away wins, yeah, 100%. It's not going to be easy because I think Bournemouth and Fulham are going to do decent. But we can do it. It's entirely possible. What sort of team do you think we'll see at Grimsby? I'd say a lot of the younger lads, potentially maybe a 1E as well, just to get him out there and give him some confidence boost. But but mostly younger lads, and then a couple of big lads as well. I don't think it's going to be a completely like the county game. I don't think it'd be an under 23s team for most of it. I think you'll see a good couple of players that are decent, but yeah, I think probably a younger demographic more so. Hodge was funny. Farts really. That's an odd observation to make of him. I mean, I've had a coffee with Steve Hodge and my co-commentator at NHL, and he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. Steve Stone, yeah, another interesting player as well. I think probably a bit before my time though. I do just want to say there's 185 of you in. If you can just drop us a subscribe, that would be absolutely amazing. Because I mean we're at 1.07k and we're only 4 off 1.08. So if you could just drop us a quick subscribe, goes a long way, and we'll keep making Forest content. And also because of you doing that, we're going to try and get on to a little bit more podcasts that aren't live, with old Forest players and others as well. So yeah, keep subscribed, keep liking, doing your thing, goes a long way. Andy Reid for me too. Yeah, I loved Andy Reid. How about Conor Gallagher as our second loan player? I mean, I wouldn't be against it. I would not be against it. I mean, with Dennis signing on a permanent by the looks of it, we've still got that loan space free. And I mean, I saw an article today saying, I think it might have been by The Athletic, maybe not, I don't know. But they were saying, Conor Gallagher needs game time. As it, I completely agree. So how do we all feel? I mean, he 100% does need game time. I'd have him as a second loan. But at the same time, we've got to be careful that we don't overdo it with how many midfielders we're bringing in. Because at the moment, there's a lot of players being rumoured. But for me, I think Conor Gallagher would be solid, would be absolutely solid. Him, Freuler, Awar, whoever you want would be amazing. John Robertson, this is my dad, you see. John Robert, you remember this, Dad, running down that wing. See, I don't remember this. If you try to say John Robertson running down the wing, I'd think to myself, God, how's he going to do that now? John Robertson, nice guy. I've never got to meet John Robertson. I've never seen him in person, which is odd because I know so many people that have met him. But yeah, Dad, John Robertson, I will say I will take your knowledge and agree with you on that one because you'll know more than me. Hit the like button, give a like spike, boom. You know it, guys. Hit the like button, get some engagement going because you're all fantastic. You're always helping us out and giving us, giving us all your support. Your dad can't spell. No, come on, be kind. It's his keyboard. Alex Martin needs a loan. He does. But that being said, I thought he added a bit of pace and enthusiasm against Newcastle. So, but that being said, I think a loan would do him pretty good. Lyle Taylor's still at the club, yeah, and I saw an article today saying that their Forest are ready to hear offers for him. So maybe 2 or 3 million at most, maybe. I don't know what people are thinking, but I think he's still got something to offer, but not at Forest. You have. Paul, don't worry, I know this. But at the same time, Morgan Gibbs-White is a permanent fixture for Forest, and I think someone that it's tough because they say don't fall in love with a lone player. At the end of the day, if we did stay up, there's always that second season curse. And if you're losing someone like Cody Gakpo, it's tough. Chris Martin, I've lost my glasses. Oh, bless you. Dad, I'll give you a call after the stream, probably about another 5 minutes or so. I love you very much. Nick Hemfield, John Robertson, the greatest Forest player ever. Wow, that's a statement to make. It's a statement to make. Do you think Cafu will go now? Potentially, I think he'll be there for depth. Colback looked the better option the other day, but Cafu's really good. I've always said that Cafu's a good motivator and a good player still. So it's tough. Morgan Gibbs-White or Gallagher, 40 mil, not even a question. Gallagher. If I was in the boardroom and Chelsea came up to me and they said we want 40 million for Gallagher, and then Wolves also in there 10 minutes after and they said we want 40 million for Morgan Gibbs-White, I'd laugh at Wolves and I would take Gallagher. So that's my view on it. Conor Gallagher's better. How many more do we need in? I'd say a couple midfielders and winger/striker. I think that's what we'd say. But I'd say, yeah, I think about 3 to 4 more would be appropriate for me. Ez Sense, look at him. He's donated £2. Ez, I'm really, really grateful. Don't you worry. I'll be buying you a coffee, my friend, because we are well overdue a coffee chat. And maybe, who knows, a long away day drive at some point if you're interested. Collymore on another level. All I see is highlights. I'm so gutted I missed those days. But have we had a striker like Collymore since? No, we haven't. But Ez, very grateful for your donation. Your support is immense. And don't forget, you can also subscribe to Ez_Sense. We'll have to do a podcast that's not live, talking a little about Ez's backstory, because I know someone asked for it, and a little bit about him. So we'll do it. We'll do it. Oh, we've got the dating sites coming on. Look, Door on tour. He's made his dating sites. Look at that. Ex-Forest player Ben Watson announced his retirement yesterday. Really sad. I thought Ben Watson had some good appearances at Forest. All the best to him if he ever watches this. He's had some good moments in his career with Wigan, I think, when they won the FA Cup. So fair play to him. Good servant for his clubs, and always did a bit for Forest whenever he could. Nigel Clough for me. Him and Webb were magic. Wow. The Clough connection at Forest was brilliant. Love Pearce, but Robbo was the best. Oh, this is tough. This is tough. Psycho for Gamer 316. He says Keenan Davis was close to. I don't agree with that. I don't think Keenan Davis is the closest we've seen to Stan Collymore. I don't think you can compare the two, to be honest. That's just me saying, but yeah, I don't think so. John met God, did he? Didn't know that. No, joking. But yeah, John met God, another good player, good free kick taker. Well, from what I've seen anyway. Left back, 1 CDM, 1 attacking mid, 1 number 9, 100%. I think Dennis will probably be the striker that we're looking for. And I think he'll have a lot of quality to add. And for 20 million, I think you're not going to get many Prem-proven strikers out there. So if he can do 10 goals in a poor Watford side, imagine what he can do in hopefully a decent Forest side. Ludovic Blas has been linked by Frenchman. I don't know if that was Ludovic Ayork, though, because I'm not that interested. But you say he's from Lille, so probably not, because Ayork is from Strasbourg. So interesting. Robert Earnshaw and Britt Sambalonga were elite. Oh, those days, yeah. Robert Earnshaw, I spoke to him once, about 3 years ago, I remember, on Instagram when I used to have that app. Nice guy, very nice guy. Davis was closer to Ishmael Miller than Collymore, oh dear. Every fan in the era has a favourite. Yeah, of course, it's different eras. But for me, I don't think Keenan Davis gets close to Stan. No way. He's got no air, but we don't care. Stevie Stone. Earnshaw was good, wasn't he? Welsh magician. Listen, guys, Q&A. Last questions coming in now before I do have to leave. And oh my goodness, Vern Gossage, you have just brought in a name that I will never ever forget. Radi Majewski. Oh my Lord. Does anybody remember the 6-1 hammering against Huddersfield? Does anybody remember that game? Radi Majewski in that game was absolutely phenomenal. He's another player from my memories as a kid that will always stick with me for how good he was. Radi Majewski, what a player. And he was even there for the Wembley game, I think. I think he was there for the Wembley game. I'm sure I saw him there. So what an absolute fantastic player. What an absolutely fantastic player, yeah. Radi Majewski is one of my favourite, actually, yeah. Him and Andy Reid, they're up there. Oh, Forest Stan, thank you so much for your donation. Stan, yeah, a bit before my time as well. I mean, unfortunately, I'm not old enough to remember him, but from what I see on highlights, something that you just wouldn't see anymore. Absolute beast. But Forest Stan, I just want to thank you for your kindness with that £2 donation. Goes a long way, and hope to meet you soon in person. I know I've met a few of you in person already, but we'll get in there, meeting a couple more as we go along. Antonio was like Collymore in the Championship. Oh, comparing to Collymore, that's tough to do. But again, Forest Stan, thank you very much for your donation. Pierre Van Hooydonk, Huydonk, I don't know how you say that. And Kevin Campbell, love Kevin Campbell. Would love for him to come on this stream one day. Dor, you can make that happen. Come on, bro. But Van Huydonk, I remember my driving instructor was telling me the famous protest that he did. Interesting. Yeah, Arsenal. Look, sorry, not Arsenal. Bournemouth. I've told you to contact me. Let's get in contact. Let's do this podcast soon. Good signing for you from Barcelona there. Let's have a look. Open talks with Emerson Palmieri. I'm not that interested, to be honest, Jason. I don't think it's what Forest need at the club. How many points do we need to stay up? I mean, there's not really a set amount. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. I don't know particularly how many, but yeah, there's not really a set amount. You just don't know how other teams could perform. It could be a high-scoring relegation battle. It might not be. What about Stern John? Anybody know about Stern John? A little bit before my time, this. Just sounds like someone called John that's been very, very serious in the way he talks to someone. Teddy Sheringham, that's a name for you. Lee Chapman. See, now you Zahir Husnu says Tracy Chapman. Now you're talking about Fast Car. What a song that is. Mark Dennis, thank you for your donation as well. You're very, very kind. Raddy was brilliant. You're right. Just that 6-1 win against Huddersfield. I remember I was in the pub as a younger lad. I don't know how old I was. I was young. And I remember seeing that score and I thought it might have been 5-1. It was 5-1 or 6-1, but Raddy Madjaski was brilliant. I can't remember if he got a few goals in that. But Mark, thank you for your donation. Much appreciated. Name a single Forest player since Collymore that could hold the ball. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, but Keenan Davis was there for 6 months, if that. So I think, I mean, maybe in time he would have become that, but hard to compete with Stan Collymore on that one. Hojdink, I don't know how to say it. I really don't know how to say it. I've always struggled saying that name. I'm going to go door on tour on you that one, but to be fair to him, there's some hard names to say, and that one's a hard one. Thank you, Will, for your donation of £2. Honestly, immense. I'm so thankful for your donation. You've been a supporter of this channel for a long time, so I appreciate that. And yes, I think I do remember. Was it 2009? It was 2009 or 10. I'm sure, and my dad's got to verify this. I'm sure we were at that game. I can't remember if we were 100%. But Will, thank you for your donation. Me and my dad are probably going to have a chat about this after now. I'm sure we were at that game. I'm sure we were. We may have left at half time because as a young lad at probably 4 or 5, I used to love leaving at half time. God knows why. 38 points minimum, says Gordon, to stay up. Interesting. Why are Forest not in for Brereton Diaz? I mean, this is in no disrespect to Brereton Diaz because he's a good player and he did all right at Forest, but there's other options. Forest want other players. Yeah. All the best players before our time. Yeah, they were all before my time. I'm a 2005 baby, and even then I don't remember things beyond maybe 2011. So, I know, gutting. Raddy Majewski, that goal against Derby and West Brom. Yeah. Pronounce Hoydonk. Thank you. I have no idea. I said since Collymore, Unelli. Okay. I'm just saying. My name's not Dave. A little bit hostile there. Not easy for sure. Jean-Claude Darcheville, no clue. Luigi, see, I don't even know. I don't know. Best left wing back option after Moreno collapsed. I think Estupiñán is the one that everybody's looking at. I mean, apparently he's worth 20 million euros, but it's a really tough one because as much as I'd love to go and spend 20 million euros on a good player like Estupiñán, but for me, there's other players there. There's other players available, and Omar Richards is one, but at the same time, you're going to have to wait 10 weeks to get him and play him. So, it's really hard. Estupiñán, though, for me, is the best, best one since Moreno collapsed, which was unfortunate. And I got in a lot of trouble with John Percy that day. That was an interesting day. You watched the season reviews on YouTube from the 9th? I haven't. Game of 316. You got me on Twitter. It's at I'm Jamie Martin. Just send me a little thing. Brit now plays in Turkey. Really? Is Sambalonga really over there? I never knew that. Is he really? Let's have a quick look at this. Brit Sambalonga. Wow. Adana Demirspor. No way. So why was this, Nick? Did he struggle with injuries, I assume? That's crazy. Wow. Not hostile at all. You don't read the comments. You just see what you... Well, no, I do think before. Yeah, I'm not even going to answer that. My name's not Dave, because I think you're just trying to provoke a reaction there. But I always look at... I mean, try reading how many comments there is and trying to fully, understand what's going on. It's not easy. Roddy's hat-trick at Palace. He had some good times with Forest, didn't he? Let's be honest. Absolute legend. Yeah, the ACL, that ruined him. £15 million. Yeah, we're talking about other clubs ripping us off, but let's be honest, that 15 million that we got for him was pretty insane. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. I just hope that he's doing okay and making a decent amount of money. And as Nick says, yeah, graveyard of failed strikers usually. It's a shame. It's a shame because I like Brit Sambalonga. Nice guy, but it is what it is. Listen, guys. You're all talking about players I don't even know, but it's been an absolute pleasure to have brought this stream to you tonight. It's been a fantastic evening. We've talked a lot about Forest, Emmanuel Dennis and Dombele, Uwar, Hoydonk. I got it right. Simon Moses and other players that potentially come into Forest. So it's been great. It's been great to talk to you. I'm back Saturday night. So listen carefully. Saturday night. I don't know the timings. It'll be likely around 10:30. In the evening for a West Ham United preview. So make sure you stay tuned and get ready to listen to that. And it's been absolutely fantastic to have been doing this stream. We've been on for an hour and 26, so thank you. Are you having Birtles on? Last question. I am indeed. We're still working out a date because he's not responded on the phone at the moment, but we are working on a date to get this done. So stick with me. Give me a little bit of time. And I will make it happen for you. I promise. There's another person that is also going to be coming on the stream. I bet you can't guess who it is. But we're going to be making a podcast, hopefully, at some point with them. So, Football with KB, give this man a subscribe as well. Sorry that you've joined in a little bit late here, but take care. And thank you all for listening, everybody. Been a great evening. And from me, the media man, Jamie Martin, thank you and goodbye.